Welcome, welcome. So glad everybody is here today. Thank you for joining and taking time out of your super busy days. And I appreciate those of you that got your camera off that I can see you. I love seeing you people. But I understand if you can't have your camera on because you got 100 things going on and people coming in and out. So appreciate you all so much. Um, We'll get straight to our meeting. So happy to have Liz Irwin here with us today. She's Executive Director of KASC, that's our Kentucky Association of School Councils. And I'm going to tell a little story, Liz, about how part of why I wanted to ask you all to be here. They presented at Ed Camp, and I was fortunate enough to be in the room with them when they were presenting at Ed Camp. I was their co-op person. And they have some great information to share with you all. But at the end of the day at Ed Camp, we came to our co-ops and different people came in, and I don't know if he's on here or not, but one of our principals mentioned this session and said they loved the information they got from it. And so I was like, well, let's let them come and talk to you all because they do have some great information to share, some tools to give you some access to that you might find beneficial. It's just nice to have things that make our lives a little bit easier as administrators, as principals, and district admin. You all have such difficult jobs, so that's kind of why how this all came to be. So just appreciate you, Liz, coming and joining us and being willing to share this awesome tools that you got here. And I'll let you take it away. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks so much. I'm so happy to be here and I appreciate you giving me your time. So today I will be providing some tools and information, and it's to support your leadership in vibrant learning. So I hope you find that especially helpful. I think a lot of times that people will say, oh, the administrator needs to go to this session and it's designed for teachers. And that's great, right? That's great. You need to know about what your teachers are expected to do. You need to have that background understanding. But we are providing support, and that the toolkit we'll be sharing for you is all about you as the audience in mind, the leadership. So today it's all about vibrant learning, and what we'll do is we'll start with what our approach is. Okay, what KASC, how we approach it. We approach vibrant learning in a way that it's based on understanding that when it comes to implementing something new, like vibrant learning or any new initiative in your school or district, leadership is key. Whenever you roll out something new, you've got to figure out how it fits in with everything else your school is already doing, right? So whether you're implementing a new HQIR or your district is full on doing your portrait of a learner and you're trying to figure out how those capacities show up in classroom practice. Or let's just say we've got a lot of districts around here. I'm at CKEC today that are really focusing on KAS, on those standards, and just going back to the basics of learning targets and those kinds of things. So no matter what you're doing and what you're focused on, here we've got vibrant learning. And if we don't tread carefully with this, then the rollout of anything won't be successful, right? Your teachers may become confused, or at worst case, they become resistant. They said, you've told us to do this, and now we don't do that anymore. So our approach to vibrant learning helps teachers to see how all the pieces fit. Okay, did my slide advance? Give me a little thumbs up. Okay, good, just check it. But
Yes.
before we dig in, just a little bit about who we are. So you might know us at KASC, which is the Kentucky Association of School Councils, for the SBDM support we provide. Or you might know us from test score graphs. We do graphs based on your Excel sheets of KSA data you receive. Or you might just know us because we provide leadership for principals or for their councils and that kind of thing. But what you might not realize is that we have this history of research on student learning and classroom practice, because as we're like one of the only organizations that, while we do feel like councils and getting that shared decision making is the process that leads to greater student achievement, we are not just out to advocate for councils. We want practices that increase student achievement, and we feel like the councils are the way to get there. And our special niche is taking what schools are already doing, what they're striving to do, or the things that you're getting told to do, like by the state, and we simplify them for people so that schools can be successful and students can achieve at high levels. So that's what we've done with Vibrant Learning. So what we'll do is I'll briefly share with you our approach to it so you can see if that resonates with you. And then as I do that, I'll also be sharing tools to help you. So first of all, we support vibrant learning no matter what happens at the state level, right? We know we've got House Bill 257 right now, and we would say, oh, you should make learning more vibrant, no matter what. But we also know that you have to prioritize what you're doing based on lots of competing initiatives. And while we don't know if it's going to pass or not, here's something we do know. Vibrant learning has been the central focus of the United We Learn initiative from the very, very beginning. And if I were a betting person, I would bet that we would have some kind of accountability for vibrant learning no matter what happens at the legislature. I believe they will find some way to make, and I don't mean to say that in a bad way, but it's just to be very blunt, we're going to have to report on the percent of vibrant learning experiences no matter what. That's what I would tell you from what I understand. I just believe that. Just listening to all the, like, we went to 5 town hall meetings. We've been following what's been going on. We're going to be held accountable for vibrant learning. But the question becomes is how do you focus on vibrant learning with everything else your school's doing, right? So that's where our approach comes in. And you'll just if you look at our little graphic here, we provide you and your staff a lens for both understanding and implementing vibrant learning in a way that already builds on what you're already doing. So whether you're full on PBL, so we have some districts that are doing project-based learning already, or if you are, like I said, doing portrait of a learner, whatever you're doing, with whatever you're focused on, if you KSC's approach will help you to make sure you are implementing vibrant learning in a way that ensures that you're doing what's best for your students and you're compliant with state accountability. So what is our approach? What we did was we did this 2 years ago. We started researching all the key players in the world of deeper learning, like design thinking, expeditionary learning, the Buck Institutes. Well, they call it PBL Works now, right? Deeper learning. We looked at what all of those different approaches have in common. We saw what was unique about them. And we really analyzed what an experience has to have, not only to be engaging, which is a lot of time what we think about with project-based learning and things, but what's really good for our students in terms of what they need to learn as well, connecting it to those state standards. So as we compared these approaches, we determined commonalities, must-haves, and we found 3 major components that these have in common. And this is branded, or like actually we copyrighted this from KSC, so you're not going to see this anywhere else unless they're using our idea here. But it's thinking, meaning, and ownership, TMO. So in order for an experience to be vibrant, it must, number 1, require thinking that leads to learning. So this means that students are applying what they are learning to new contexts. They are evaluating and or problem solving, basically doing all of those higher order thinking skills, which might give some of you all a sense of relief if you're thinking about, if the teachers that I see who think they're doing vibrant learning, they've lost the rigor. We say then it's not vibrant learning, right? Number 2, the experiences must also have meaning for students. And this is what we hear most commonly when we hear people talking about project-based learning or deeper learning or vibrant learning. This is where that's like the central focus, something being meaningful to students, whether it's authentic, something that captures their interests and that's valuable. So it is a key part. And then number 3, the experiences must empower student ownership. And that means that they build on that meaning, they build on that interest of students, and they go further, that they allow student voice and choice. And then they lead to students leading their own learning. So we give you this acronym, TMO, because it's easy to remember. It's easy to help your staff to understand what you're talking about with your expectations of what vibrant learning looks like in your school. It's something that can be easily internalized, remembered, and used in any setting. So you might be thinking, okay, that's great, KASC, you've got this great, definition, but how does this fit into what we're going to be required to do? We know that there's a state definition that has been adopted for vibrant learning. So let's take a look and see how it connects. So just take a look at the state definition. Hopefully you're already familiar with it, but I'm going to give you a chance to read it to yourself for just a moment. Okay, it's going to be on this next screen. If you didn't get to finish, don't worry. So let's see how our TMO connects. So on this slide, you've got the School Council's definition of vibrant learning. And in the orange box, you have our look-fors for vibrant learning. So let's see where you see thinking in the state definition. So if you don't mind, take a look at the official state definition. And Mary, I'm going to need your help because I can't see the chat box. So I'm going to have people put some things in the chat box for me. And then Mary, you can kind of tell me what comes up, okay? All right, so thank you. Take a look, everyone, at that state definition. I'm going to read aloud a few of the look-fors for thinking, okay? And what I'd like you to do is to put words or phrases that you see in the state's definition that are related to student thinking in the chat box. So, thinking. Thinking involves students applying what they know to other content areas in real life situations, right? Students evaluate, critique, they draw, support conclusions, solving problems by analyzing issues and creating solutions. So
Agents of own learning has been dropped in the chat. Thank you.
You've got to be thinking, right? If you're an agent of your own learning, is there something even more explicit? Remember, what do you have to do if you're thinking? You're applying what you know. You see that?
Solving problems.
Very good.
Nice. Application of knowledge. Application of knowledge.
Yes. So
application.
All of those. Perfect. Good job, guys. So it's right there, right? In order to be agents of your own thinking and to solve problems, you demonstrate that when you apply your knowledge and skills to those products, right? All right, we're going to do the same thing now for meaning. So let's think about not students making meaning, but when learning is meaningful to them. Okay, so again, put those words and phrases that you see focus on meaning as I read from KASC's meaning component. Learning is meaningful when it connects to students' interests or background. So think about what words get to students' background or experiences in that definition. It is authentic to real life and has value to students. So where do you see meaning?
We have engaged in the chat.
Thank you all.
Personalized products from cultural wealth and interest.
Yes, that makes it meaningful to them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Relevant.
Awesome.
Students' gifts and interest.
Yep.
Let's see, any others?
Yep. You got them. Yep. There it is, right? Learning is meaningful to students when it taps into what their background, what they come with, what their interests are, when it's authentic and relevant to them. And our last KASC TMO for vibrant learning is ownership. So having ownership means that students have a say in that classroom environment. So it takes that foundation of being meaningful and relevant to them, and then it's what students do. So that means that they are shaping the classroom environment. They're making decisions about maybe what materials they use, how they demonstrate learning. And then leadership becomes a natural element for students in the environment, with students leading their own learning and impacting the learning of peers and adults. So they're teaching, they're sharing what they've learned. So what are some words and phrases from the definition that you saw relate to ownership?
Personalized products.
Yes, they're taking ownership when they personalize what they create. And then do you see the agents of their own learning there too?
Agents of their own learning just got dropped in. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So
Yay.
it aligns. So I did this with you for two reasons. Number one, obviously, because I want to show you that the state definition and our definition of vibrant learning match. And what is significant to us, something that we're really proud of, is that we really truly came up with our TMO before the state definition came out. We did it based on research of what's going on in classrooms. So they're fully aligned. So that's the first reason I did this with you. Second reason is because that one of the things that you can take back with you today is this understanding of vibrant learning. You can say, I can't memorize the state definition necessarily, but I can remember TMO, vibrant learning experiences, thinking that leads to learning, meaningful to students, and they lead to student ownership. So now we're going to transition. That's our approach. Okay. So our approach to vibrant learning is to breathe life into the leadership and to give you this understanding of vibrant learning as TMO. Now it's time for tools to help. So the first thing you can do, and all the tools, you're going to need your phone to do the whatchamacallit, the QR code there. Okay. And then when I share the PowerPoint with Mary, I'll also share links to the tools to get them easier for you later on, so, because you won't have the QR code later. So I'll give you those too. But this link takes you to this little colorful poster there. On the top of the poster, you'll see the state definition and the alignment to TMO. And then on the bottom part of the poster, you'll see the look fors for vibrant learning. Okay. And speaking for look fors, I don't know about you, but as a former school principal, I used to love me some look fors when I was going into a classroom. I gotta have something that shows teachers what I expect and then gives them feedback on what I expect, right? So the next thing we have for you is a look for document. So let's just say that you have pockets of vibrant learning going on in your school or your district, because I know we got a lot of district folks here, right? So let's just say, okay, I know, like fifth grade science, it is vibrant in there. They're doing all these great projects, whatever. But the hard part is, how do you scale that, right? So another first step into doing that. So let's just say you've got this understanding of vibrant learning. What you can do as a leader is to find those little examples. Find vibrant learning experiences in your school or your district and start to celebrate them. That's easy. That's what we're seeing a lot so far at the state level. We're seeing the celebration of what's going on. Then you're like, okay. And then sometimes it almost backfires. Like I noticed that at the town hall meetings, we kept seeing that, like the tiny house project. I remember being a teacher and going, oh my gosh, I can't do that. I couldn't do a tiny house project. So what we do is we give you some look fors that say, okay, you don't need to do a tiny house project, but let's think about what this experience has for kids. And if we get those look fors, we can celebrate them, what you're doing in the classroom that could lead to vibrant learning. So what we have for you is this QR code will prompt you to do make a copy, and we have the very first column there are those look fors for vibrant learning. The second column gives you a place for like writing some notes about it, and then we even provide like a little bit of a rubric. So you got a 3, 2, 1 there, and then you can have another column for feedback. So that's a great place to start. It also will help you if you're at this point, if you just want to practice, can I recognize vibrant learning? What kind of feedback would I give to my teachers to do that? Okay, so now we've got another tool for you. Now this is where I have to do a little bit of like that Pampered Chef moment. Give me a nod or something if you're familiar with Pampered Chef back in the day. You ever go to a Pampered Chef party and they give you a recipe, right? They're like, hey, you can make this crescent roll chicken braid, right? But you should use our 3-quart batter bowl to do it, right? So that's my average at my moment. There's some tools, but to make it easier for you, we have a PD, right? So if you need everybody in your school to get on the same page first, or in your district, if you want to get your leaders together, we have a leader version of this. If you just need to get that common definition first, we've got a 3-hour PD, and it's specifically designed for teachers or leaders to amplify current practice without feeling like it's one more thing you have to do. So this QR code will get you to some information about the PD. All right, so back to some more tools. If you personally, as a leader, are feeling really confident in your understanding of vibrant learning, and you're ready to facilitate that conversation in your school or district yourself, we have this toolkit. And the toolkit takes the lessons from the PD, so you don't have to actually do the PD. We kind of give you all the stuff you need, and we give you these little like coaching tools where you could use them in a PLC meeting or a small group of teachers, or in 30 minutes. So our toolkit, this is where you get like a little peek inside of it. It has 3 main sections, okay? Sections 1 and 2 are focused on teacher learning. Now, it's all designed with you as the audience, though, but it gives you the tools to help teachers to understand what vibrant learning is, what it looks like. And then the third part is implementation in the classroom. These are coach or principal tools so that your teachers you can help your teachers in designing those experiences. So here's an example for your, this is the part 1. This is one of the first tools in part 1. That's what it looks like. That's one of the tools looks like. So it's not something that this toolkit is not something that you're going to be able just to hand to teachers. It's not like an HQIR that you say, here, go, have at it. This is a manual that for you, the leader, the instructional coach, and it's based on you taking this, and it gives you facilitator notes, and then it'll be followed up with pages that you can just run off for your teachers. So each activity has coach pages, and they're designated with the green bar, and then the blue is facilitator notes to you if you were the person leading the activity. And then you've got the handouts, if applicable, to give to the teachers. So this one has teachers reflecting on a vibrant learning experience they had. That's a real popular activity you see. If you go to Vibrant Learning PD, you see everybody goes, oh, think back to an experience you had as a student. Well, it's just like you ever go to a PD or some kind of meeting and you're like, oh my gosh, this is such a great experience. I want to replicate this with my staff. Well, we've already done that for you, and we give you everything you need to do it in the toolkit. So here's like the teacher pages that go with it. So like we just have them do with Think, Paired, Share. So we give you the notes of things to say, and then here's the teacher page directions, okay? And then here's another part that goes with that activity for the teachers. We give them a little place to reflect on the experience. So that's how like the toolkit works. This here is an example of section 2, connecting with vibrant learning. Again, here we are looking at the notes for whoever is leading an activity with teachers. And in this activity, teachers are asked to make connections between portrait of a learner competencies and their example of a vibrant learning experience. I'm sorry, not their example, but an example of a vibrant learning experience. So because we don't know, what everybody's portrait of a learner competencies are, we just use the state ones, but you could replace this with your own district's portrait of a learner. So we have in the gray box at the bottom, that is a vibrant learning experience, an example, and then the idea is for them to reflect and see how their portrait of a learner competencies match. Okay, this is another activity from that section. This is an example of the teacher pages. This is from a different activity. So this one, we have an hexagonal thinking activity that's designed for your teachers to do. And this is their teacher page. So this gives them the directions. And this is where they have to have conversations around, how do my HQIRs connect to Kentucky state standards and what we're doing? How does this all connect? And then in our toolkit, we have a link where these cards are, where you can just print them off. Okay, then section 3, here is where the rubber meets the road. This is my favorite part of our Vibrant Learning Toolkit. This is the section that's designed with many lessons for the instructional leaders to use when coaching teachers and how to create the experiences themselves. This section is based on our planning tool. We've created a planning tool that's not something that teachers, it's not another template that they have to fill out, but it's like, you're supposed to be planning this first, and this is what you need to think about. This is what you need to look at in your HQIR. And basically, it's a backwards planning model tool where the teachers have to start with, what's the demonstration of learning supposed to look like? What's the big question? What's the driving question? So you'll see that the planning tool has got 3 main parts: anchors, application and assessment, and then your lessons. And the idea is, first, they clarify what students are learning and why it matters. We even have tools in here to reflect on learning targets that you're already doing. Then you design the assessment, and then you go back into the learning tasks. And it helps everything to align. It helps make sure that vibrant learning aligns with everything you're already trying to do in the classroom. Here's an example of some of the coach notes that you might see. And so this one is, considering the teachers being at the very first part of designing that unit, and they're thinking about, okay, I've got my unit assessment, I've got this idea that I have and what the students can do. And we have like these little prompts that, like, number 1 says, coach teachers to think aloud about how they will introduce the unit or sequence of lessons for the upcoming weeks. And then we have even things to say, how will you hook students' interest, getting that meaning by making learning relevant. And then, so that's just an example of how that works. Okay. So I was trying to keep this under 30 minutes. I think I've just about done it. Here is a link to, if you want to learn more about our toolkit. And as district folks, if you're district folks, I know we have principals here too, it's important to know that how the toolkit is priced, right? It's priced per school. So it's kind of like you buy a license, right? Like if you, like we're doing like iReady, you couldn't just buy one access point for the whole district. You've got to buy it per school, but it's not per teachers, per school. So the price of it is $200 for members, and that's for one school, for everybody in the whole school, whoever needs it to have access. $400 for non-members. And the idea is that it's a one-time investment and it supports your leadership. So the QR code can give you some more information. And then if you're a member of KASC, thank you. We appreciate you. If you're not a member, we still love you and appreciate you too. But of course, we want you to be a member. So put questions in the chat box, or my email. Maybe, Mary, you could put my email in there too, in the chat box for them. It's LIrwin@kasc.net. So feel free to email me. And
I've
just
got
thank
it
you for
on
your
our
time.
slide. I've got it on your slide. So I've got it in there, and then I'll drop it in the chat too. I'm having a little technical thing going on here, I think. I don't know. So yes, I'll get that in the chat for you here.
Thank you.
Too.
And now
You
I
are
can stop
welcome.
sharing, and then I can see if there's anything in the chat too.
There's no questions. One person, Lee, he did mention about prioritize PD. So that's a great point too there. That's
Yeah.
how you're giving that focus. I love that.
Thank you. Thanks. And we really tried, in the past. So I worked at KSC like 18 years ago when I was right out of the classroom. And then at that time, they didn't pay to teachers' retirement. That's why I went back and I became a principal and all that good stuff. But I say that because 18 years ago, lots of times what we would do is we would have these PDs, and we had people from the districts that wanted them. And so we would just sell them the facilitator guide and all that for the PD. And then people kept asking us, okay, this is great, but I don't have 3 hours in one sitting. I need tools where I could do like the professional learning more embedded. So that's what the design of this one's based on. It's that idea of embedding the professional learning and the development into the avenues you already have, right? The PLC meetings, maybe 30 minutes after school, those kinds of things.
Love it. Great options that you've got there. That's and we did want to remind them too, Liz. I'm going to drop in the chat for you all the link, it's also on the slide deck. You'll see the link to the, let me pull it up here since I have dropped the slides in the
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
chat for you. So let me share my screen now. Let's see, I'm going to go over here and let you stop sharing. Liz, are you still sharing? Yeah.
Oh, probably. Sorry.
Yeah.
I meant to do that.
And I will share my screen and I will drop in the chat for you all and show you on the grid because Liz went into a little more detail with you all about the tools. It's a little different presentation than what you did at Ed Camp. And so we talked and said to give you all the best of both worlds, we let her go in a little more detail, but then you can go if you want to look at the presentation she did at Ed Camp. That way that gives you that opportunity. So let me see here. I'm going to
And the
share.
Ed Camp presentation has something, it has something in it that I didn't share today that I think you might want to see. If you need something for your PLCs, if you need something where you need like a structure and a focus, especially if you've got some kind of initiative that you're trying to get scaled, where you've got pockets of excellence, but you really want teachers to all start working together and getting it spread out across the whole school. We have like this PLC plan that's based on the 4 disciplines of execution with Stephen Covey. And that's what I shared at Ed Camp too, related to vibrant learning. So if that's something you're looking for, check that out. We were pretty excited about that. People really seem to enjoy that part of it too.
Okay, awesome. Just a little note, when you click on that link to Ed Camp, you'll see this is the whole grid from the day that we had back in January, on January 4th. Some of you were able to attend. All the videos are now linked. So this is something that you can go back and peruse and look at things. I was in room 5. You can look at the column there at the top. And if you go down, these are the sessions that I was in. Well, Liz and Kelly were in my room from 12:15 to 12:55. So you can click on the video. You can also click on the hyperlink here at the top that will take you to their descriptor, and it has their slides there as well. That has some of the QR codes that she shared here today. But she's going to send me her slides from today, and we'll link it to our slides. So just something that when, like I said, at the end of the day, one of our principals, and I still don't think I've seen Mr. Griffith here, he's the one that mentioned how that was just just some of the tools that, Liz shared in that session, how helpful that was and helped him to wrap his brain around some of this and that were beneficial to you all as leaders. So does anybody have any questions for Liz? You can drop them in the chat.
Or just speak up, whatever more useful for you.
Not. I'm sure they're going to be looking through this and that they will be reaching out to you. We did drop your email in the chat for them. So if no questions, we just appreciate you, Liz, taking time today to join us and share some of the great tools you all have. And thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you all so much. You have a great day, and I hope the sun comes out where you are. I'm ready for some sunshine.
Me too. I'm done with the snow. Oh,
yes.
Done.
I'll see you guys.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, thanks. Yes, in the chat. Did she already hit it out, didn't she? Okay. All righty. So just wanted to make sure you all were aware of that. Some of you may have already known about those tools and some of the things that they had available. But like I said, it just was some nice information and just some simplistic ways. I think sometimes we all like things like that to have in our toolbox to where we can make use of those. So we're so happy to have her today. We'll go through, this is probably going to be a little bit shorter meeting today. But I am watching for if Patrick Hall is in the room yet. Patrick, are you here yet? We have a teacher that's going to share some stuff for us. So I'm going to just keep watching for him. But we'll go ahead and go on through our slides. just want to make sure and share with you all. I want to highlight something very specific with special ed for you all. So you all have the slides already, but I'm going to drop it in the chat just so that it's easy access for you if you want to click on it. But if you will click on the update that Dion provides for us, our special ed group is phenomenal. They do all kinds of great things to help your special ed teachers, your doses, and us as principals and district admin. And so you'll see some upcoming things, and I want to draw your attention to March the 6th, okay? And why I am drawing your attention to that, it might not be, when you look at that, you're just like, oh, Behavior Institute. Well, last meeting, I asked you all to do a survey on PBIS. And one of the things that had the most feedback was chronic absenteeism. Well, that's their focus for the Behavior Institute. So if you go, let's see, when you click on this, it gives the registration, and you don't really realize what the topic is of the day, but if you scroll on down to the bottom, notice it gives you the details. They're going to have their introduction opening, absenteeism, truancy. That's going to be Brenda Combs sharing. Then they're going to have about attendance and SEL, executive functioning. I know some of you all have asked about executive functioning training, so they're going to be implementing and talking about that around absenteeism. Because we know if a kid is missing, there's reasons behind it, and a lot of times it is a social emotional piece. There's a lot of reasons why kids miss, and that can often be a factor. Then they're going to have Teresa Combs at the end of the day after lunch. She's going to talk about legal updates for attendance and legal updates for discipline. So this is great for you as admin. Doses, yes. District admin, principals. This is a great session for you. Also, I just wanted to go into the details for you of what the Behavior Institute is about. And it all relates back to that survey you all did for us that you all put chronic absenteeism. Now, this isn't going to be the only thing, but this is a great day, and it gets into the legal aspect of it too, which I always love to hear, how that relates. So just want to make sure you're aware of that. So if you want to share that and just say, hey, or have somebody from your district attend, make somebody is there being able to listen in on some of the information. You see the different cadres that they offer, the autism hour cadre. A lot of us have students with autism in our districts, and sometimes it's just good to have other people to talk to and listen to some different ideas that we can try with our kids. They have their principal support network on March 27th, which is going through a special ed lens that we all need to have, and we know that there's some legislation out there right now about that being a piece for principals. So just wanting to make sure that we're providing that support. And then the spring conference expedition you can see in April, and then their dose meetings they have. But just wanted to draw your attention to those things, and just be sure to share that the Behavior Institute is chronic absenteeism is the behavior they're focusing on for that day. So just want to make sure you realize that is very targeted to what some of our needs are in district. Well, I'm just not clicking on the right thing. So that is Dion's slide. I am still looking here. So as we go on, just want to remind you, we have Bernadette Carpenter and Bronna Francis that are phenomenal. They're always fun to have around, and they go in and will help with your FMD students and talk about vocational rehabilitation. And so they'll come in and do things with your students. If you haven't had them in, definitely reach out to them. Here's contact information, and then also just some different things they can provide as trainings in districts. So just want to make sure you're aware of those. Let's see, is Kim Surgeon in the house? Let's see, is she there? She's in a district. She's actually in Belfry right now, just saying. So she's in Pike County. I'm going to skip through those slides and watch for Patrick Hall. Did he get on yet? There's Kim. I see you, Kim. Can you talk? Can you hear me, Kim?
You need me to talk real fast? You need me to talk
If you
real
want
fast?
to, if you have time.
Oh, yeah. Is my buddy on here?
I was looking for him, and I'm not seeing him.
Okay. Oh, well, he'll be here and you can kind of watch out for him. You guys,
I
it's
will.
just okay. It's just good to say hello to you guys. And I've got on there and you all know the usual. So please, and matter of fact, I'm in a district right now doing that kind of thing. So please holler at me, anything that you guys need, and go ahead and flip it there, Mary, because I'm going to talk about our events coming up. Go one more and then
One
because I
more.
want
Oh,
to
so sorry.
no, you're fine. So don't forget these events, you guys. We are low in our numbers for registration. Please, you can just pull this slide out and share it with your teachers. Really would love for you all to do that because these are really important events. The one that is on the right about, and now I can't see that what he's talking about again. I need to fix that slide. No wonder when y'all have shared this out, people are probably have not registered. I'll fix this. Joshua Dunn is going to be doing our America 250 session, and that's the one or excuse me, no, Andrew Lang is doing the one on April 17th, I mean, and he's going to be the one doing reconstruction, and Joshua Dunn is the one doing the America 250. I'm going to fix this slide and send it out to you guys. Also, I have a newsletter that I've been sharing with folks, and Mary shared that out. Please make sure when the newsletter comes out, just share that with your teachers because I'll put a lot of events. We're going to have another newsletter come out next week. So those are events or resources that are available to your teachers. And when Patrick Hall comes on, if you want to go back one, Mary, when Patrick
Okay.
Hall comes in, he's going to tell you guys about this phenomenal opportunity for your teachers this summer. And you guys can see there it says teachers can earn hours or money. So please be sure to share that with your teachers after Patrick talks about it. But that's all I really have, Mary.
Oh, awesome. Thank you, Kim. Always
No,
phenomenal to hear
thanks you
from
all.
you. Okay, but Patrick will be on here in a little bit because he is a teacher, so he's having to find time to step out and to be able to join our meeting, and he's going to talk about this. I'm going to go on and talk about some other things. The things that Kim mentioned here, these are on the PL calendar. And so just make sure that, if you're sharing that out, um, I'm going to go ahead and skip to another slide while I'm waiting on Patrick. Um, Impact survey. That is one thing that came out. I know most of you all have already dove into that and looked. And when I look at the KVEC one of our areas that we can maybe help the most with is professional learning. And I know a lot of you all utilize our resources, but we want to get input from you. So I'm going to drop a survey link here in a little bit for you toward the end to have time to fill out for us, and then share it with your teachers, with other principals in the district, with other admin in the district. Because the more we get, the more likely we're going to better serve you and the needs of our region. So professional learning. When I went and looked, it seemed like a lot, like when I looked at our KVEC one of the ones was content specific or teachers having choice, having flexibility. And when I was in district, we got dinged on this too with a survey. And one way that we went about um, allowing teachers to have some choice, because that's a hard one. Let's just be honest, that is super hard to work with. We went and had the board approve a flexible PD option. Now, we didn't do all 24 hours flex. We had teachers do 6 hours of flex. So that was one thing that we did. And when we did that, because when you do flex, you either can provide them with options that they can select from. And I know that's how some of you all utilize us. You'll share the PL calendar and say, hey, you can use this, select from here. Or they can maybe find something that they might be interested in and they can fill out a form to get approved. But that's one thing about FlexPD, it has to be approved before they do it, not after the fact. So just want to make sure being aware of those things and having that conversation, because that's one it's really hard to address those needs of those teachers. Now, I know a lot of you were working on May 1st, there's going to be that professional learning action plan that we've got to have in. And I did do a sample survey copy for you all on the slide deck, and I will drop that in the chat too. And it's going to ask you to make a copy of it because I wanted you to have your own copy. You make it and you change it ever how you want it. You are welcome to use that. Change it to where the top picture is your logo for your district or your school. so that you all can go through. I did leave the school in there. If you're a principal, just delete that if you're doing it for your school. But it mimics somewhat of some of the things. You can delete some of the options. You don't, I mean, it's yours. Manipulate it, change it as you would like, if that would be beneficial. Because sometimes if we do surveys and we show that we try to address the needs of our teachers or colleagues, or that it really makes people feel heard. And that's one thing that we always want to make sure, that we value the input of those around us. Oh, it's not going to let you do it. Okay, thank you. I appreciate you all clicking on that. You all are awesome. Let me go find that and let's see what I got to do. Okay, I'm going to try something. Refresh. Try again. Refresh. Can you get it now? Can you get the sample professional survey? If you refresh it, does it ask you to make a copy? I appreciate y'all. Y'all awesome. Already clicking on it. I got the, if you re-click or refresh your screen, are you being able to get the?
It didn't work for me, but that doesn't mean it didn't work for somebody else. You may have to make it public before, even though you put copy where edit was, you may have to
Let's
still
try
make
that.
it public.
Let's try that one, because I made it public, but I'm wondering what happened. Let's try this. At first we don't succeed, right? Oh, I know why. Let's try this. I know what. Now try it. Refresh it. Did it work that time? All right, let's just do it this way.
It worked that time.
Did it work that time?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Because what it is where it's a survey. That was, all right, that works. Great. So hopefully, thank you for keep trying. I appreciate that. It's always a little glitchy there for me at times. But this is just something, it may just give you some ideas of what to utilize. It has a lot of different options, because this is what I'm going to be sharing with you, a version of it, to ask you all, what do you all want us to try to have for you? So just want to make sure that we do it. Okay, great. Thank you all for dropping in the chat. You are very welcome. Anytime we can do anything to help, because if you do a survey, because you're right now in that process of working on doing that professional learning action plan in whatever it's called now. If I say the wrong word, it really shows my age. Cognia, I think, is what it is. It's not eProve and it's not Assist now, but they keep changing the name. But where you can pull data and you can, even share it, in your admin meetings. This is what our teachers want. This is what we're looking for. And just getting some feedback, a lot of times that can really help with that one piece on that impact survey. Because like I said, we got dinged for it too in district. But after we started doing Flex PD and we started doing our surveys more, and the thing was, is we used that survey data and tried our best to, and teachers could go pick 6 hours, and I'll be honest, they found some great things that we would share with other teachers and say, hey, they found this might be something you want to do. And it's just a learning culture of everybody just wanting to get better and to improve. But that was one thing I wanted to share. Let's see. I think I'm done with layout.
Can I share what we did, which we're tiny district, but that was the highest growing part on our impact study, Impact Kentucky results. It was like 25 points higher.
Did you share what you did?
Yeah, we have a professional learning Google Classroom that all the teachers are in. And so, like, I'm constantly perusing your site. We're also a member of KEDC as well. So there's Facebook, College Board. So I'm constantly scouring for choices for teachers. So we don't I mean, there's occasionally, times where teachers all have to do the same thing, but for the most part, our teachers do have choice. And they pick, and I have it sorted by subject area. So I'll put science PD in one place, like PIMSR stuff. I'll put
Right.
social studies stuff that Kim puts out, Kentucky Historical Society. I'll look at their website for stuff that they put out. So a Google Classroom, like one-stop shop for their professional learning. I know a lot of schools use like vector solutions um to house their PD, but we just find that the little simple Google Classroom works great.
Oh yes. We moved to that with COVID. COVID caused us to change to Google Classroom too. That's a great suggestion. So do you have something like a picture or something you could share? Maybe do a screenshot and drop that in?
Um,
Because
can I share my
yes, let me
screen?
make you a co-host real quick. That way, because a lot of us, because I think you can, but let me make you a co-host so that you don't have. Let me stop sharing. There
Let
you go.
me see.
That way they can get a look at it. Well, there's my survey. There you
Okay, so
go. So you
here's what it looks like. And so the stream doesn't have much in it. I try to organize everything under classwork. But
mhm.
I've already started putting together some summer PDs here. Here's their mandatory testing that they have to do for, like the suicide training, all that stuff.
Right.
Oh, no, this is that.
Okay.
This is what I was telling you about at the meeting the other day, how I loved that you all have already put out the Holler has already put out the PD for admin code and inclusion.
Yes.
So here's their virtual option. I'm also giving an in-person option so we don't make them do one or the other.
Nice.
I
That's
keep a
choice.
spreadsheet of their PD hours here. It's updated. This says it was just updated February 12th, but it updates as I add to it. But here's some PD for admin. Here's PD for all subjects. Here's PD for counselors. Here's ELA, PD, gifted and talented, math opportunities. This one, visual and performing arts, is the one that it's so hard to find anything for them. Um,
Have you looked at KET? Because
I
they have a awesome option now.
I think one of these I think is the KET option. I can't remember which, but one of them is. It's like a
Okay.
self-directed one. Here's the
Yes. And
science offerings, social studies
mhm,
offerings, special ed offerings, and it's speech language. So this is how I just organize it this way. And they
mhm.
sign up for stuff, they complete it, they move along with their day.
Well, that's awesome. That takes a lot of time and effort on your part. That's fabulous.
It
I love
does,
it.
but it seemed to have quite an impact because, like I said on the Impact Kentucky survey, that was our highest growing area at the elementary and high school because
Mhm.
we just started this year before last.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is great. Well,
Thank
that
you.
was that was one of the lower ones for some in the region. So that is wonderful. So glad to
And now
see
I don't
that.
know how to not share, so you may have to
Well,
take
I
me
can just.
away.
I think I can go in and do it. But thank you for sharing that, Nikki. That's a great way to go about doing that.
You're welcome.
Um, but if you that is a great idea, and um, that provides options for people to be able to have choice, and they feel like they're being heard. And I promise, if you do something like what Nikki has put together there, and Google Classroom
Yeah.
is always a good option because that's something that your teachers are used to. They know how to navigate that. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Thank you. That's awesome. Love it. Um, and then, doing some feedback surveys with them, getting some, what is it that they're looking for? What do they really want? Those are always great options to do. the so let me go back. I'm going to go back to, I wanted to talk about that one first because I think that's just really a good thing for us to have conversations around. One thing is March Leadership was released last week. We all know that that's something they're really going to do a lot of focus on reading, we see. So making sure your reading teams attend, and it's offered. It is the same training all across the state. Pick the one with the date that works best for you or the location closest to you. We are March the 12th, so if that's a great day for you and you all want to come to Hazard and be with us, you know we always love to have you. We want you here, but the registration link, I only included the one for KVEC there, but you know, it is on the PL, not the PL calendar, it is on the Padlet, the whole listing with all the different things, and then you all get the emails too, I know. So that will be a something that you definitely want to make sure that you go to and that you attend just to hear what's coming out. They are going to be talking a lot about reading, which we all know that's a huge focus, as it should be. And I asked a survey last time, and so we are going to be, KDE is going to do a training for us for over the revised reading writing standards. So that content piece that some of us got knocked down on, that our teachers said we didn't have as maybe much content specific, here's your content specific. The first training on May 8th, which was about as soon as I could get them to do it for us, is May 8th, 9 till 12 for you as administrators. Now, you can bring your literacy coaches. Yes, bring them, have them with you. Literacy teams, if you want them with you. But this is really going to be focused for you as administrators, okay? That is May the 8th. It's a 3-hour training. There will be ELA credit provided, so that's 9 to 12 on May 8th. There's the registration link. This is not even on the PL calendar yet or the Padlet because I'm sharing it with you all first. So thank you for being here. Revised reading writing training for your teachers, literacy teams, people who need to be in the room there. We gave you 2 options because we know you have some teachers. Now, I don't know with the weather. We know there's legislation. Hopefully the June 5th will work for your early birds who want to go in and get that training done. You can count PD if you have had your closing day for the next year. So if your closing day is in May, hopefully, or June 1st, you can count PD for the 26-27 school year after you have closed your year. If you've had your closing day, June is allowable for the into the next year. Just how you can carry over ELA credit too. With that, just FYI on that one. So if you have early people who just like to get it done, they're going to use their summer to work, June 5th would be their date. July 24th was the date that had the most votes, and June 5th was the one with the most votes. 9 to 3 for both of those days for your teachers to have that training. Or if you want to send a couple of people to come and get the training and then take it back to your district for the fall, or let it be a PLC or some kind of thing. But that is what we are providing that is very content specific for them to help with that area. Now, social emotional learning, that was the other area that had a very high result that you all said that you all would like to have, because we had a good number of you respond to that. So this is just one we're going to provide, because social emotional learning, March isn't a bad time to talk about that because we're all getting ready. We're all stressed, thinking about, end of the year, getting things done, but also just taking time to think about, social emotional learning, because that's how we really get a lot of our kids to work so great for us. And so really paying attention to those behaviors and things. So here's an SEL option, and it is after school. I know I need some help from you all to know exactly what is the best thing to do because I know everybody's so busy, and I don't care to do things later. We can do that. That's not a problem. But I talk to some people, they say 3:30 to 4:30. I talk to other people, they want to do it during the day, but I know teachers can't do it during the day. So just kind of help me, if you will, on our feedback survey of give me some good ideas on that, please, is what I would say. Please help me. So SEL is another area. Impact survey we just talked about. Let me go ahead and drop my survey in there if you want to start working on it. Now, this is our general ed survey. Dion will also be sharing one that is a, let me make sure, am I clicking the right thing? I'm a little spooked now where my one didn't work. I'll just be honest. That should work then. Okay. Okay, that's my PL survey. You'll notice it's the same as what I shared with you, but it has just a few little different things because I changed, because you're a different group than what you all would be sharing with. And share this with your teachers, other admin in your district, superintendents. The more input we get, the better, is what we would like to say. So that's my feedback survey in the chat right now. Just want to remind you about grants. I know today is the deadline for that Math Achievement Fund mini grant that can really help you with maybe some professional learning. So today is the deadline for it. There is the middle school coaching pilot grant that is for $62,000 a year that could help pay a coaching salary. So just keep that one in mind. A couple of others that are on there is the AED grant. Those things are expensive. So if you don't have one, or if you need to get some more, this might be a really good option. And then migrant education grant. I'm not sure how everybody is in relation to migrant education. I know that's a lot around some of our larger cities. So that would be great. So we will, so you want the, okay. If you will click, I'm going to drop, I bet, I'm going to link to slides. I'm going to drop the link to the slides, and I will get also the link to the website in the chat for you, because I think I did not add it for some of you.
Yeah, I looked real silly, Mary, trying to click the screen for the last 5 minutes.
So sorry.
Josh is in here laughing at me saying, Andrew, you can't do that. I was like, why? Why can't I do that? So thank you.
Yeah, you are welcome. I'm so sorry. Oh, that's my fault. So that's just the competitive grants page. All of those are listed there. Be sure to check on those, because a lot of times they'll have some grants that, they're not too terrible to go through, but especially one like that one, the AED one, that can be helpful, because those things are a little on the expensive side. Feedback, please have your teachers look at those math standards, because they are different. Take a look. Make sure they get these links. It's on the Padlet. I do have that on the Padlet. It goes out in the newsletter. Do a search on your emails and forward that to your teachers, please. There is some differences on the math standards. And so there's 2 forms for them to look at. One is for the math standards. One is for the assessment blueprint for math. Please send that to your teachers. The cutoff is February 27th. Make sure that they are aware of that. They just released, was it this week? They released the technology standards. That's on the Padlet, the email that was sent with that. So yes, I will. I will have that right now. Yes, I will put that in there, and we will put the Padlet. I'm going to put the Padlet in there for everybody, because I know that is one of those things that sometimes we don't always keep up. So there's the Padlet link, but those are on there. You can also search your emails. Just type in, feedback mathematics, and it'll probably show up in your email for you. But that's went out in a few of the emails on standards. Hopefully your teachers have been doing that, but if not, oh my goodness, please take a look at those. Change. The biointeractive models and data and ecology is not going to be Monday. So they should have contacted your teachers. This is not my thing. This is the biointeractive group. They have tried to contact everybody. They have changed the date because where everybody had missed school, and this is kind of like a really, people just wanting to get back in their groove. They offered to change the date to April 27th. So to be farther on in, and hopefully that will work. I warned them, I said, hopefully we can get them because that's, crunch time for us with assessment testing. But let me tell you, this is good stuff. It's actually on the KDE site. As one of the options, if you have never had a teacher go to the biointeractive stuff, it's a supplement. It is not an HQIR. It is a supplement to help your HQIR. Because no matter what you're using, whether it's Amplify, OpenSciEd, we know every HQIR needs some support. They're not perfect. This is great. We had some people come in from one of the districts, I think it was Perry County, and middle school teachers came and they loved it. They were like, this is what we need. This is content. So for your science teachers, 8th grade teachers, this would be great for 8th grade biology teachers, ecology, environment, those types of things. Those teachers would be the audience you would want to make sure and share that with. Anybody who's doing that with the life science, this is just, they have good things you all for your teachers, and it is really content specific. It pushes me, and I did teach science, but I would be using it as a science teacher, is all I can tell you. The next one, regional learning series, looks like we're good to go with our local accountability meeting on Tuesday. This is the one that is sustaining a culture of vibrant learning through system-wide shifts in assessment. So this is kind of a big one when we use that assessment word. I don't know what is going to pass with legislation. That is a question, we will know at the end of the legislative session what all is going to be going through and what's not. I know that some change in language, instead of a local accountability, I think they're toying with the notion of indicator of quality, IQ, they're going to call it. I don't know if that's going to stick, but that's been put out there. But just want to make sure, if you haven't registered, if you came to cohort 1, the session 1, you are registered. I've already emailed you. If you want to come and join this session, you are welcome to join at any time. So sign up, and if you could be here with us Tuesday, we'd love to have you. I know basketball's going in heavy swing and academics and all that stuff, and so it's, hard to schedule things at this time too. The principal network meeting for you principals out there, the next meeting is March 13th. They're going to have legislative update at that time. That's going to be one piece of that day, so I'd sign up if you haven't already for this one. And then they're also going to have school safety. They're going to have Shannon West that was with us last month. They're going to have him talk about some things with your risk assessments and stuff. So those are some of the big pieces on that day. So if you want to sign up, be sure to keep that in mind. I'm kind of looking, lost something. Oh, I didn't. There it is. The next one is, now this one is for a charge, and let me tell you, if you all want this, if you want the vocabulary literacy and student engagement, there are 2 different sessions that PIMSR is offering, and it's March 16th, 17th here at KVEC. This is for a charge. If we don't have some people registered by March 1st, they will cancel this session. If you're interested, please go ahead and get them registered. If you're not interested, it's okay. I understand. Okay, don't worry about it. But if this is something you would like if you know some teachers who would be very interested, we know PIMSR has some great things. Please make sure that you share this and and it's also on the PL calendar. School Counselor Summit, their last meeting is June 4th, so just making sure your counselors have their own PD. They have a very different role in district, and so making sure that they have their professional learning as well. Just a reminder, we talked about this earlier. We're now in phase 4 of our improvement planning and that professional development plan for schools for you as principals and your professional development plan for districts. And I know a lot of times you all work together on those. Collecting data, getting feedback. If you've got data to show with that plan, that's always a good thing. And so doing some feedback, getting some input from your teachers on what they want is always a good thing. We had our mentor network meeting. The last meeting was on Tuesday, and had a great time with your mentors. Let me just say, you all have some fabulous people working, and we just had good conversation around scenarios and them talking about how they would handle situations if a mentor came with certain thoughts. And so that was just a good thing. Dion and I are in conversation about maybe doing this again next year for your mentors, doing like a summer session and then doing like a couple of sessions during the year. So that was fun. Frisky Network, big shout out to Morgan County. We appreciate them. They're going to be sharing some strategies from their impact report on March the 16th. That's our new network. So glad to have that. Be sure that they are aware. Today is February 19th, Artificial Intelligence for our new teachers. Alex Smith with the Holler is going to be sharing some really neat things. He learns from it too. I have so much fun talking to him because he says, look what it does when you do Gemini, but look what it does when you do Copilot, or look what it does when you use this different AI, or you do Chat GPT. Or Claude. There's so many options out there. So he's going to do a session with our new teachers today. So make sure that they are aware. A lot of them are registered, have emailed them just a reminder, and sending another one out at 10:30 today. So that works out well. MTSS, our final meeting for the year, hard to believe, is April 14th. We'll talk about meeting dates and just some different things around MTSS in your schools. Anybody's welcome to come to that that's interested. I share it with MTSS coordinators. They can share that with anyone in district. If you want to be added to that list, just send me an email. I'll put you on there. DAC, our last meeting is March the 5th, and we'll be talking about our dates and other things. Nikki, you brought up a really good point on the Holler. We do have the admin code and inclusion training. Those are things that your DACs have access to. If they want you as a district to utilize those, yes, we definitely want to do that. We have Heather, she was on here earlier. She's made a request for the back DAC trainings and have included that too. If that is something you're interested in and having available to your district, just let us know. But we're here to help. We just want to help you all. The grants page, yes. Just a reminder, and I hope if by saying this, it will not happen. If you have any more days, your paraeducators, remember our website, that paraeducator training right there, they can click on, and there's all kinds of professional learning for our paraeducators, instructional assistants, and then also the professional development tab as well. Has some PL, and it will generate them a certificate, which is always handy. Our next meeting date will be March 19th of this year. That's just a month away, and we'll have some I think I may try to reach out to a district and have you all maybe share. If anybody wants to volunteer, I will take it happily, of just how you run things at this time of the year that's been successful for you, to help that you feel contributes to your success, of how the students are doing, when it comes to their assessments and those types of things. So I'm thinking about that, and we'll look. But if anybody wants to volunteer, I'll happily take a volunteer. I do want to talk about May 21st. That's not going to be the date, May 21st. So I didn't send you a calendar invite for that. I will change that to TBA, because what I want to do in May is get somebody from KDE like we did last year to do a legislative update. And that's really going to be our focus for our last meeting, because we just want to have somebody that can go through, talk to us about our legislative updates. And I know there'll be all kinds of information, because sometimes I just like to have it in an open session. I know there'll be a lot of things, but that's one of the things we'll do. I may try to get our KDE, Brian Perry, back with us, with the liaison for legislation there at KDE, to share with us. So I'll reach out, or whoever may be available. But there is that. Let's see. Okay. Got that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate that. I always appreciate you all sharing stuff with me. The other thing is, do not forget, we have our Padlet. I did drop that in the chat for you also. It's right there. Let's take a look at some of those things that we said. There's the March leadership. If you click on that, it has all the registration links. So if another location is better, that's fine. You know, the closer you are to Hazard, hopefully that date works well for you. But just making sure that you have access to all of those. But they'll be here with us on the 12th. Hopefully you can join. I always like to see you in person. The math is here. On this one, notice it says feedback sought on the Kentucky Draft Mathematics Standards and Assessment Blueprints. Be sure to share that with your teachers and ask them to do that because they really need to take a look at that. Also, there's the one on the feedback on the standards for technology. Some of you are interested in the writing revolution and the Holcomb method. They are providing all kinds of different trainings during February, March, and April that are virtual. So FYI, there is a charge for those though. Just wanted to make sure you were aware of those. But just kind of keep those in mind. That Padlet is there. Let me see what else we got here. Is there anything else I'm looking? I see an audio. Patrick Hall, are you in the room with me right now? Let's see. Does anybody see him? I don't see. So what I'm going to do, I did drop the feedback survey, the PL input. If not feedback survey, that sounds confusing. I did drop the survey for you all in the chat. If you all can be sure and fill that out for me and share that, please share that with others. I would be happy to answer any questions that you all have. The last question asked about us reaching out to you all. I do have one question. I have a group, the Kentucky, KAA. They have, it's mainly for counselors, and they have like a scope and sequence for 6 through 12 that I would be interested if that's something you all would want to have us do for you all. I'm looking. Let's see. Still don't see Patrick yet. If you will work on doing that feedback, the PL input, and then I'm also going to drop the PL, I'm getting my words confused. Shows my age. I just dropped in the chat your feedback survey. I know a lot of you all are going to be working on looking at some different things. You're going to work on my survey. If you'll hang with me here for a little bit while we wait for Patrick to get on. Like I said, we got teacher. I always like to give the teacher space. Watching to see if he's gotten in here yet. Not yet. Oh, see Chester. Glad you're here. Durwood, hey. See some different people, Janie. Glad you all made it. Tanya, yay. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you all so much. Glad you all are here. So when you do that feedback survey, it should email you a certificate for your time. So that's your ELA credit. We will put the court recording in the folder, but Johnny will also put it on the ELA credit. That is one thing. Oh yeah, don't forget to join our social media, but let me go back to, let me show you one other thing. I think I showed it to you last month, but let's just make sure the PL calendar, like I said, the reading writing standards are not even on there yet because we shared it with you first. That Behavior Institute is there that I told you that is a focus on chronic absenteeism. So be sure to share that in district, but just want to make sure that you know where the ELAS, oh no, that's got me worried about our website. Self-paced ELA opportunities are right there. The learning management system is where you can go to do opening day trainings. We do that. And we also have And you can make that personalized if you want. We can make one, utilize things that you want specifically, but that's also where you can find the admin code and inclusion trainings as well that we have in place. But is Patrick in? Alrighty. If you will work on the feedback survey, and I'm going to go back to Patrick's page. And those social studies trainings Kim talked about, these are really heavy content. So social studies teachers who are looking for content, these are perfect for them. You can click on those links and it'll take you to the registration. But this one is the reconstruction. And then the other one is where we're getting ready to have America at 250. That's a great one too. Those are great, very content heavy for our people. So if you all will fill out your feedback survey and give me input. Tell me how you liked having the slides too. Was that a good idea? And I will update them and we'll see how that works. Hopefully that'll work better for us. I'm waiting for Patrick. Let's see. Is he there? I don't see him yet, do you? But I appreciate you all being here today. Bless your hearts. Hope everything's going well. I'm going to put it back to Patrick's slide. This would be great for your social studies teachers too. I'm watching for him. We'll let him talk about it because I don't know what to say. See, now this is why I don't do PDs for teachers during the day because, bless their hearts, it's hard for them to get away. Let's see. There we go. Alrighty. Should be here any minute. I just saw, hopefully. Is that right? No.
Hi, Mary. I'm here. I just wanted,
Yay!
I know you said just to give you a little note when I got into the meeting.
Thank you, thank you. Would you care to talk about your slide for us, please?
Absolutely. And thank you again. And thank you to Kim for giving me just a few minutes to speak this morning. I just wanted to share some of the amazing opportunities that are coming up with the University of Kentucky Jewish Heritage Fund Holocaust Education Initiative. So my name is Patrick Hall, and I am a social studies teacher at Hazard High School. But I've had the great fortune to work with this group for the last several years. And this group is really, really focused on creating Holocaust education opportunities for teachers across the state. We strive to create opportunities. We strive to teach this content, this very hard history of the Holocaust, with both excellence and empathy. And so you'll see on the slide, there's various information. We bring in experts on various facets of the Holocaust to teach these lessons and to lead these workshops. And they're also led by our team of teacher leaders. And these are teachers who are across the state, and they have been engaged in very intense training over the course of the past year to become better Holocaust educators themselves. So, number one, I really just want to emphasize how strong the content expertise is when it comes to these workshops. But these are also really great opportunities for teachers. Teachers who attend these workshops and complete all requirements, they can receive either a $250 stipend or 10 hours of PD credit. We can't do both, but either or, whichever a teacher needs, they are eligible to pick whichever one they prefer to get. And that can be either money in their pocket or 10 hours of PD credit towards PD that they need for the year. And so these workshops are going to be starting very, very soon. If you scan the QR code on the slide or follow the bit.ly, that will take you to the registration form, and you can see a full list of the workshops that are going to be offered across the state. In particular, I really wanted to note to this group that we are doing a virtual workshop this year that is really we're really trying to target Eastern Kentucky teachers. We realize, that the geographic size of Eastern Kentucky, and the terrain can make it difficult to travel to places like Lexington, or even to places like Richmond sometimes for training. And so we are doing a virtual workshop. And thank you, Mary, or whoever is driving, for bringing that up. But the workshop that we're aiming toward Eastern Kentucky educators is going to be on April 25th. It is going to be on Zoom. You'll want to just note that carefully because there's an in-person on April 25th in Lexington too. And I mean, certainly if somebody wants to drive to Lexington for that one, they're welcome to. But, or if anyone wants to drive to any of these in-person workshop opportunities, they are welcome to. But we do have that opportunity that we're really trying to target toward Eastern Kentucky educators because we know that it can be hard to travel sometimes. I will say that spots for the virtual workshops are limited this year. This is not something we've done in previous years. We've not necessarily capped the number of attendees for virtual workshops, but due to the high interest, we are capping the number of participants we accept for these online workshops. So please share this with your teachers. It's a tremendous opportunity. It's a paid PD opportunity. And we would love to have teachers from across Eastern Kentucky join us workshop on April 25th. And I'll also add, do I have maybe 2 or 3 more minutes, Mary?
Yes.
Okay. I'll also add, if you would like your teachers to have a more in-depth experience, so these workshops are coming up soon, and these are opportunities for teachers to attend high-level training and get some money in their pocket. But if you want your teachers to, or if you have teachers who you think would benefit from, even more rigorous professional development, this spring, they're not up spring. Eventually, we will open up, or we should open up, teacher leader applications. And so if you have any teachers who you think would benefit from even more rigorous training, they could apply to be a teacher leader. And then essentially what they would be doing is they would be training to become one of the people, one of the teachers, the educators who are going to be delivering these workshops. So look for that as well. And then on my original slide, I also included a hyperlink to, if you go down there to where it says Toli Berea, Mary, if you click on that, so this is a partnership between the UKJHF and the Olga Lengyel Institute, which is based out of New York City. They hold institutes all across the United States, and these are free. There's no cost to participants, but again, spots are limited. And so you can see some information there about the 2026 program. They had one in Berea last year, and there will be another one in Berea this year. So this is an in-person PD opportunity over the summer. There is no stipend for this training, but they do try to bring in very, very renowned experts. Last year, they were fortunate to be able to work with Crystal Wilkinson as the Poet Laureate of Kentucky. So this is, again, just another really exciting PD opportunity for teachers who may be interested.
That is phenomenal. Those are some great things for social studies teachers. We so appreciate you sharing. And this is a real need because this is very content specific, and Holocaust is a requirement, right? That we have to teach, and what a great resource to help teachers. That's phenomenal. Thank you so much, Patrick.
Thank you, Mary.
Appreciate you. Does anybody have any questions for Mr. Hall? You can unmute, drop anything in the chat. Only thing we ask, right, Mr. Hall, is that they share it out with their social studies teachers.
Yes, and I'll add that we work with social studies teachers. We also work with ELA. If you have high school, we work with high school and middle school teachers, social studies, and ELA. But we've also had librarians apply, and we've worked with librarians, media specialists, humanities teachers, a few humanities teachers. So social studies teachers definitely make up the bulk of the teachers we work with. But yeah, great opportunities for ELA focus as well.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. We appreciate you taking time of your very busy day to join us and share with us about these great opportunities.
Thank you so much, Mary. Thank you for the time to speak. You're
welcome. You have a great day. Awesome. Awesome. So that is some great stuff for our social studies teachers. So very content specific. And so be sure to share that out, include that for your social studies teachers because of having those opportunities. Now, if anybody has anything they would like to discuss, I'll happily take any questions or things that you would be interested in sharing. If not, we are finished, I believe, early for the day. So thank you for taking time and joining us today and being with us, and bless your hearts. You are welcome. Appreciate you joining us because I know it's hard for you all to step away because there's all kinds of people wanting to get in your door. Hey, yes. Do you have any questions, Miss Nikki? Did you have anything? I think she was getting out of the room. Thank you all for being here. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate you all. Great. Anything? Thank you all. Appreciate you all joining us today. Appreciate Nikki sharing her Google Classroom for PD. That was great. All kinds of good stuff going on. I will stop sharing my screen. There we go. And just as you all finish, you all go ahead and hop out. And we are just glad you took time to be with us today. Thank you. Thank you.